Hey everybody, Matt Covey from Suburban K9. Today we're talking prong collars. All right, buddy. So, prong collars are a misunderstood tool. Look at this dog here. He loves his collar because he sees us and he's like, let's work, let's do something. All right, pal, hey, no more. So, prong collars are not a bad thing to a dog. They're only a bad thing if you make it a bad thing. If you make it a bad thing, you could make a harness a bad thing. You could make a leash a bad thing. You could make a cloth collar a bad thing. It's all in how you use the tool. So prong collars are not bad. People often ask, do they hurt a dog? Are they going to like cut them or slice them? No, 0% chance of that. So these prongs are rounded off. They're not sharp. They're not meant to be. If you look online and people give you scare stories of like, if you use a prong collar, this will happen. I've seen a picture floating around of a dog who was obviously mistreated. The collar was left on for a long period of time. The dog grew and eventually like the collar was stuck in the skin. That's animal abuse. Obviously, that has nothing to do with the collar. That would happen to a cloth collar. A lot of dogs have to have cloth collars cut out of their neck because they grew and they were left unattended and the collar stuck in their skin. So that is not the tool. So these pictures you see of like prong collar issues are absolutely misleading and fake. So these things here, they will not cut. They just can't do that. Really cheap ones will look, they're like clipped, so they're so flat, they're sharp. A Springer one is rounded off. It's you just cannot hurt a dog with it, and by giving any sort of normal tug. Now you need to know how to use it, just like any other tool. But things I want you to think about: proper fit is key. It needs to be kind of high on the neck, and we have other videos showing all of this. It needs to be a good collar. It needs to be in good shape. So if your collar gets in bad shape, it could be dangerous. They should always be rounded off. Now, what a prong collar does is it represents mama's teeth. So, moms nip the puppies all the time. Anyone who tells you that's not true either is lying to you or doesn't understand dogs. Go watch a mom with her pups. She nips to correct constantly. This is basically what a prong collar is doing, and it's breaking focus. So when we use these on a dog, they're not like this discipline tool, like, you're a bad animal, now you're in huge trouble. And honestly, dogs care a lot more about the emotions of their trainer than about anything physical. So if you're worried about making your dog sad, you should worry much more about yelling at them than like a little tug on the collar. Dogs care much more about how you feel and how you're interacting with them than they do about a little tug on the collar. What the collar does is it breaks their focus. So when we're healing and the dog pulls left or goes to target on a squirrel, we give a little tug to the right. It's that. It breaks their focus. It's not like, oh my gosh, this hurts so bad. No, I can't chase the squirrel. It's like, what? Oh, you need me? Oh yeah, okay, I can walk. And so it's just breaking their focus. That's all it's doing. Now, if you've researched prong collars, you may have seen people tell you prong collars can make your dog more aggressive, and they'll cite these studies. Now, here's the thing, they're not even studies. What they are is they're surveys. So what they've done is someone's gone out and interviewed, or not even a real interview, like just sent a piece of paper to all these dog owners and they say, is your dog aggressive? Yes or no? And then if you say yes, they say, what kind of collar are they on? And a lot of them say they're on a prong collar. What people do then is they take the results of the survey and say, look at this. An aggressive dog is way more likely to be on a prong collar, therefore prong collars cause the issue. Obviously, any high schooler knows correlation, causation, they're not the same thing, right? Just because two things are correlated doesn't mean one caused the other. So to me, an example I give to my clients, it's kind of like if you did a survey and you said, okay, are you on antibiotics? And the person says yes. And you say, okay, how are you feeling? Are you sick? And they're like, yeah, actually, I am sick. And you're like, oh my gosh, all these people on antibiotics are sick. I think that's what's causing it. No, they're taking the antibiotics because they were sick. People often switch to a prong collar because the harness doesn't work, the cloth collar doesn't work, and now they're using something new to work on their dog's issues and hopefully solve them. So if you have a study you think is conclusive that shows prong collars cause aggression, send it to me. I would love to discuss it. I'll make a video on it and we could interact back and forth through the comments because I have never seen one. They are all 100% misleading and fake. So with these collars, you have to know how to use them properly. We have a lot of videos on this. You don't leave it on the dog all the time unattended. They could catch it on something and get hurt. That goes for any collar. You don't give really hard corrections. That goes for any collar as well. So you're not like yanking really hard and yelling no, but you don't do that on a cloth collar or you shouldn't, or on a harness either. So these are an absolutely amazing tool. They are not going to hurt your dog. The only caveat I would give you is if you have a dog with really short fur, like think a pit bull or a dobe, sometimes they have like almost no fur on their neck. Any collar can rub their skin raw, so you need to watch for that. Honestly though, in my experience, cloth collars are more likely to do that because they go up and down, constantly kind of rubbing the dog's neck. So if you have a dog who has really, thin fur, some people will put like a bandana down just to help protect it, because most dogs, like the one you saw a minute ago earlier here, have a lot of fur there, and there's no way the collar's ever going to kind of rub their neck raw. Same with the cloth one. But if you have a dog with thin fur, it's something to think about. If you have questions, reach out. We would love to answer them. Don't be scared of this tool, but you do need to respect it. I would suggest watching a lot of videos or working with a trainer to learn how to use it properly. Thanks for watching.